Boom! What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, guys. And this is going to be our reaction show. Reflect and react, react and reflect. You guys already know what it is. There's a lot of news going on in the NFL, a little bit of news going on for the Niners, but all of it is going to impact the season. So we're gonna have a good time with this one, guys. I'm ready to react and reflect. All right. So, guys, we're gonna go through the formalities really quick, but before we do, Tony, what's going on, big dog? How you feeling over there, man?
What is up, Mike? What's going on, faithful? Bringing you a show tonight about some news that broke today with the NFLPA and the league. They came to an agreement. Some fine details have been coming out through Adam Schefter tweeting things, and we're going to touch all on that tonight and talk about a couple other topics.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. But let's go ahead and get down to the nitty gritty, man. Let's kick this thing off here. First of all, guys, if this is your first time on the YouTube page, we want to thank you guys for checking us out. We truly appreciate that. All right, hit that like button if you enjoyed the show. If you enjoy it that much, you should also subscribe. Okay, once you subscribe, you got to turn on your notifications so you know exactly where we're going live. That's the little bell. All right, so make sure you guys are locked in on that. Okay, we have Twitter and Snapchat. That is Nothing But Nine ERS. So make sure you guys give us follows on those avenues as well. We have Facebook and Instagram. That is Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out with spaces in between. We have a website, guys, www.nothingbutniners.com. That's your one-stop shop. Whoop, drop the paper for anything and everything 49ers related from us here at Nothing But Niners, guys. Listen, go there and hit the shop tab. We have got some new apparel going up. We're going to be adding a lot more throughout the weekend. I'm excited about some of it, man. You guys should check it out. Speaking of new apparel, man, shout out to my guys over at 49ers Hive. Hooking me up, man. Hey, listen, I can't show you guys, but you know why I hate wearing white shirts? Because I always get something red on it, right? I put this shirt on literally right before we started. I'm not kidding. Right before I jumped on here with Tony, I put this shirt on. I said, all right, I ate dinner. There's no way nothing's going to get on me, especially anything red. I'm not going to drink anything red. I'm not going to have any food out here with me, just a cigar and my little bit of yak, right? Do you know when mosquito flew on me and I killed it on the shirt? I killed the damn mosquito on the shirt, Tony. So
Come
now,
at me, bro. Come at me, bro.
I know exactly. I got a little tiny stain down there, but it's okay, man. Joe Staley, the Dawn, the Come At Me, Bro, brought to you guys from the guys over at Nothing. I mean, that 49ers Hive. Look at me, Nothing But Niners on the brain. So, yeah, man. Also, guys, back to the formalities. We have a podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Google Play, SoundCloud. We are on all podcast platforms, so you can find us there. All right? Enough of that stuff, man. Tony, man, I know you said you've been chilling. You've been having a good time. But what's really going on, man? What's really going on? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Just, hanging out. Last day off of work. Got to go in tomorrow for 16. Relaxing with the kids. It's been raining for the last 2 days. Literally almost 48 hours of straight rain and thunderstorms. And that's pretty much it.
I hear you, man. I had a hell of a day, man. I worked at a different office today. They had me all over South Jersey. I was in Camden, and apparently wild turkeys are a thing in Camden, bro. I couldn't believe my eyes. Just in front of a 7-Eleven and police department was a turkey just running around, just chilling. Like, I've never seen anything like that before. No trees, no woods. Where'd he come from? Big-ass turkey. I got a video, man. I might have to post it on something, man. Maybe I'll post it on my Twitter account after this. But, yeah, man, so that's that. But, yeah, everybody else is doing well. So let's get ahead and get into some of this stuff, man. We got some tweets that came out from Tom Pelissero, some tweets that came out from Adam Schefter. There's a lot of new stuff going on league-wide. Apparently, let's start with this one, Tony. I don't have it pulled up, but you can let me know what it is. The 49ers, my bad. What was I saying? The league and the NFLPA apparently have agreed in principle. It's not on paper yet, but in principle.
No, I think it's pretty much done. From the way Adam Schefter's tweeting, it seems like it's pretty much done.
Okay, all right. So then break it down, man. You got the tweets over there.
Yeah,
so break it down.
Pull it up real quick. Part of today's deal between the NFL and the NFLPA is there will be no impact on the 2020 cap. It remains at 198. The cap cannot go lower than 175 next year, but can go higher if revenues come in better than expected. Let's see this one. The loss of any revenue will be spread out over the next 4 years through 2024. Players will have 7 days from the time of the agreement official is signed, probably by Monday, to make a decision whether they're going to opt out for this season. So now if they're going to opt out, they came to an agreement as far as salaries if you choose to opt out. If I can get it 1 second here. Okay. Details on 2 types of opt-outs. This is from Tom Pelissero, which is the final being finalized. High risk players, if they have an issue, an underlying issue, something like that, they will get a $350,000 stipend with no offset or accrued credited season. So they will get credit for the season if they're a high risk.
Or their family members, right? If I'm not mistaken, this has to do with them. And if like some guys have children with respiratory issues also.
Correct.
And so they're also guys that can opt out of the season. But based off of what you read, they have to make that decision by Monday. Is that correct?
They have to make it. Let me go back to that one. Give me 1 second. I'm juggling here, going back and forth.
No pressure. I just want to make sure that I understood that tweet right, because he said based off of the language, it seems like the deadline is going to be Monday.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
To make a decision on whether or not you're going to play football 2 months from now, right?
So,
doesn't that seem weird?
Players will have 7 days from the time the agreement is official, probably by Monday. So 7 days from Mondays, which will be next Monday.
Right, but isn't that still weird? Like that they have to decide on they're going to play football in September, in July.
Well, I guess because so the teams are given enough time to create make their rosters and start rotating players or making moves on their roster if they know this person's not going to be there, because they're going to start working out. I believe they have to go through a testing phase, which I believe started Thursday with the Niners, and they go there, they get tested for 1 day. Then they go back to their hotels or homes, team hotel or homes, quarantine for 2 days, come back and get tested, go back to their homes and get quarantined again, and then come back and get tested again. Then they're allowed to come into the facility and continue into like the weight training, the running, the calisthenics end of it, and then they slowly build up into full pads. It's like a 21-day projection, a 21-day schedule, I believe. But just real quick before I forget, if you are a voluntary opt-out, you only make $150K with no credit season. So if you voluntary opt out because you don't want to, you feel like, you don't want to risk yourself with that, it's voluntary. You'll get $150K from the NFL, from the league, but this season doesn't count. So for example, for someone like George Kittle, if he decided to opt out this year for no specific reason, he just didn't want to be a part of it, he gets $150K, but he's a restricted free agent next year, not an unrestricted free agent because he doesn't get credit for this year.
I mean, I don't think that he's going to do that because he's, well.
No, I was just using that as
yeah, I understand you were just using it as an example.
Yeah.
How does this work for rookies who have never touched the field? How does this work for guys who are at the bottom of the 90-man roster who are likely to be cut anyway? They could opt out and still make more money than what they would have.
That's from what I'm reading.
Because these guys aren't getting $350,000 this year.
It doesn't specify. It says players. So whether you're 10-year, 15-year, Tom Brady, 22-year, whatever the hell he is, or an undrafted free agent like Jermichael Hasty, that's the guidelines that they came to an agreement with.
It's very interesting to see how guys opt out. And by the way, shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Let me send some love to the chat because I am not the guy that keeps his eye on the chat. That's a Breezy and Nick's specialty. Those guys can respond to people, and I don't pay too much attention to it, so I apologize. So shout out to everybody that's out there. You guys asked, where is Breezy's narrow ass? Breezy is working still. Yeah, so sorry. You probably won't get Breezy on here tonight. Roy Boy says, smoke him if you got him, Mike. Hey, you know how it goes, baby. You know how it goes. What's good? Faithful from V Bizzle 3000, Andre Baker. Brian Gilmer, Sean with the contribution here. Cool shirt. What's that little black spot? So you know it's going to drive me crazy. Sean this is one guy who provokes me a lot, but I like it, though. He does it in the good ways. Always love, man. Always love. Kenny's on here. 843 49er man. Eric Crocker. I'd for sure opt out if I'm at the bottom of the roster.
I just saw that.
Agent Mosley, what's going on, man? I see. But listen, now let's talk about that, though. These guys who are not likely, but see, they don't even get to put any film out there.
That's
see,
the
all right,
thing.
Eric. So Eric, I should get Eric in here because I want to know what he thinks about it. Actually, he can type in the comments. But listen, man, you tell me this, right? So you're at the very, very bottom of the roster, right? And you opt out this year because you're an undrafted free agent, right? You opt out, you take the $350,000, but you don't get a chance to put any film out there.
No.
You think you're going to make it back to the league?
And that's the problem. That's the problem. Like, and why I was like kind of upset that they eliminated all the preseason game, because now these guys really don't put any game film. I understand you have your practice film, but there's no game film like other teams have access to. So it's kind of like, I mean, listen, I wish they would have kept 2 preseasons. You know, you do 1 week, you skip a week, you do a 3rd week, and then you skip a 4th week, and then you go into the season. So there's that week buffer in between each. But they went against it. They did their thing, what they wanted to do, and it's understandable, it's respected. But doing what we do, and I'm a football freak, watching football, all these preseason games, I really wish there was some preseason to see it. But the games mean nothing, so I do understand what they're talking about. But you got to look at it from the guys from the bottom end of the roster, man. No preseason games, no film. It's a big chance, man. Big risk.
I mean, you have to be somebody that had very high, aspirations of making it in the league, because that's dangerous. You might not ever get another chance. And it's $350 worth it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, let me see here. Let me get back to these comments here. Eric said he would for sure opt out. Roy Boy says, sounds like the unemployment stimulus. It's official from Luke Walsh. Opting out of the 2020. Where's my 150? Yeah. Now, what'd you say about the 150,000? That was a different thing. What was that one about? Do you have
the 150,000 is the voluntary, meaning you're just doing it like, I don't want to risk it.
So you're not high risk. You just don't want to chance it this season.
Yeah, okay. You're not high risk, or others in your immediate family, I believe. I don't know the exact wording, but I'm just going off of that tweet and putting my common sense to it. But if you just kind of like, you know what, I'm just not going to play. I'm just going to I won't play this season. I'll take the 150. You're not going to get credit for the season. You're only getting 150K, and that's it.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying there. That makes a lot of sense. Let me see. If I'm at the bottom player bubble, I'd opt out. The thing is, you don't know if you're at the bottom until you get out there and put something out there, right? Like Matt Breida, his rookie undrafted free agent, never looked like the bottom dweller in the running back room. Right? Imagine if he had opted out. You know what I'm saying? Now this year he's making over $3 million. What if he opted out? No one would have ever seen him in the NFL.
I know.
It's a big risk. So big risk for some of these guys. And then listen, you spend your entire life pursuing your dreams, right? You don't make it to the NFL on a whim. This is high school. It's probably before high school. It's Pop Warner. It's high school, collegiate, and now you're here. Combine, Senior Bowls, all kinds of shit that you've gone through, East-West Shrine games, just to get here, right? You do all of that to get here, and now you opt out and risk never being seen by putting out any game film. I don't think we're going to get a lot of people opting out, honestly.
No.
Really don't.
Unless it's like something significant. I personally, I wouldn't opt out. I mean, this is your career. This is like your livelihood. This is how you survive. So, and especially coming in like someone like a Jermichael Hasty, someone like a Jared Maiden. These are guys fighting just to even be considered to make this roster. They're not even. They're nothing right now.
Right.
But if you have serious problems with family, immediate family members, you got to make that decision. It's tough, but
now specifically with running backs, I know we're getting sidetracked here, but check this out. With the way the league diminishes the value of a running back, maybe opting out ain't a bad idea.
I wouldn't.
Listen, they are always looking for running backs that walk in off the street every year. That's one position that you can probably get another look, not necessarily get signed, but another look. You take the 350 this year, which is way more than what you're going to make anyway, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe I don't know. I don't know.
But you got to realize something, Mike. There's reasons why those two guys signed with the 49ers. They had
Right.
31 other teams banging on their door trying to get them in. They chose to sign with the 49ers because it's the best fit. What the hell was that? It was the best system.
I don't know.
Fit.
My screen completely flipped sideways. I'm sorry.
Did you move your phone at all?
No, I'm not touching. But man, I got a cigar and a drink, and I didn't touch anything. It flipped over here too. I know what happened. It switched themes. My phone does this automatic, like from daytime to nighttime, or if I drive through a tunnel, it switched themes and it messed everything up. But I'm back. It shouldn't do that again.
But yeah, basically, they came to the Niners as they projected themselves as being the best. This is the best situation for them, knowing how the team depends on undrafted free agents and a better shot to make this roster, one of them, than going to someone like the Cowboys or the Patriots or the Jets. You know what I'm saying? Where they weren't too sure they were a scheme fit.
Yeah, no, I get you. And guys, I see the comment here from Casey. Is Tony saying 150 and Mike saying 350? Yes. So there's two different stipulations. If you or someone in your household is high risk, then you get 200,000 more. If you're just opting out just for the sake of safety, then you don't get that 200 extra thousand. It's only 150. So there are two different numbers. So I had to stop saying, oh, it's a 350 worth it, because most of those guys probably aren't high risk. Eric Crocker's comment says, yeah, man, it's tough with no preseason games and guys at the bottom barely getting reps in camp. And since there was no OTAs, most reps will go to the vets. That's a really, really good point also, man. So it's going to be rough.
That's why I told you, once they announced that, I was like, bro, this isn't good. Especially for the team, for the 49ers, the way they depend or not depend on undrafted free agents, but they really invest and expect some of these guys to step up and really challenge for a spot in the roster. I mean, how many reps could they get in a practice? There's no inter-squad scrimmages, okay? Your veterans need their reps, and are they really going to go full bore, all-out contact?
We're going to get back later on with some other tweets that we saw about roster sizes and options. This is going to be a good talk later. That's going to be really, really good in a little bit. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, though. I'm sorry.
But, yeah, like these guys aren't going to go all out. They have what? I think a 10 or 12 or maybe even 14-day window of full pads. How much could you do in 14 days? Your tackling's not going to be up to par because you don't tackle, you do thud in games. I mean, I don't know if Croc could jump in real quick and just post a comment on this. When I played, not pro, but it was, you would never go live. It was always thud. You would rap, and that's thud it. They would blow the whistle.
You thud up, I think is the term that they were using.
Yeah. So now, is the tackling going to be off the first couple of weeks of the year because of this? So, I mean, I don't know. I know the veterans don't play, but I'm really not concerned to the veterans because the veterans are the veterans, and they're there for a reason because they've been so productive over their career and X amount of time that they've been in the league. But it's like the younger guys, like the Kentavious Streets, the Julian Taylors, the Tim Harris, the corner, that are fighting for spots on this roster. The Jason Verrett, he would have an opportunity in preseason. So, I mean, it is what it is. This is what we got to deal with. We're going to be shut out this preseason until week 1. So it sucks, but we got to get ready for it. You're on mute, Mike.
Or was that you?
You're on mute.
Oh, I'm on mute right now?
No, you were. You were talking and you were on mute. Now you're on mute. Now you're off mute.
I'm off. I should be off now. Okay. So I don't know who was buffering, though. One of us were buffering really bad just then. It could have been me. All right. So let's keep this thing moving here. Let me see if I missed any comment pertaining to what we were discussing.
Croc just answered it actually at 8:24.
If I were right here?
No, 8:24.
I can't see the times on here. I'm not on the computer. If I were a rookie, I wouldn't opt out, but going through what I went through and knowing how I got released, man, it's tough. I got released because Joe McKnight and Chris Ivory were hurt. That's wild. That is wild. Like you got cut for something that had nothing to do with you. Let me see if I can find the other comment here.
There it is.
No.
Oh no, that's not it.
No, we did this one already. Let me see.
It starts the only time we went live. I can just read it if you want.
Yeah. Go ahead and read it.
It's Arik Crocker posted the only time. There we go.
The only time we went live in training camp was during goal line or the big green and white scrimmage. Oh, that was okay. But other than that, it was stud. Yeah. So it doesn't happen too often. Yeah. And I saw a comment in here from my guy. I can't believe you guys dealt with me on Wednesday night during that DMX versus thing. Anybody who chimed in, that is not how I usually am, I promise, except during football games. I do get that turn during live football games, but Callie Young, man, you are a soldier for still riding with me. I was using all kind of language. You guys would not believe how crazy I was that night. But anyway, you guys should all listen. Go to Hot Mic, sign up, and use the code NB9ERS because there's going to be more live stuff going on over there. I really enjoyed that, man. That was a lot of fun. So, and shout out to Breezy for jumping on there with me. Even my man Dre was on there too. So listen, there were a couple of other tweets, Tony. Let's break those down too. We got some news about roster sizes. There's two options for teams. One where they can maintain all 90 players, or they go down to 80. Now, here's what was the weird thing about that. I'm no mathematician, but they said that if you go to the 90, you have to have two different practice facilities.
Yeah,
if you
split.
Right.
So there would be a group in the stadium and a group on the practice field.
Right. But if you stay at 80, then everybody can practice together. What the hell is the difference with 10 people and why they all of a sudden have to go to two different stadiums? You get two different feet. What the hell is that? Makes no sense to me. But let's break that down a little bit more. I kind of breezed through it, so we'll explain that a little bit better for people who don't understand while Tony pulls up those tweets, man. I'm sorry, but that was
this was from Chris Mortensen, more from an NFL conference call. The 80-man roster deadline is August 16th before padded practice, but teams can have a 90-man roster if they go with a split squad setup. Some teams have plans to split the squad and use stadium and regular practice facilities. So that don't make sense for number one, what you just said, there's a 10-man difference. And number two, if you're going to split squads and you're doing second team offense versus second team defense and first team offense and first team defense, how the hell are you going to put your position coaches and your coordinators on two different fields at the same time? So it really doesn't make sense.
Listen, all right, so it doesn't make sense from the number standpoint. I don't understand how 10 people means two fields. I don't get that difference. Here's what I do like about it, though. If you split them up, you can really see who's good and who's not, right? Imagine taking your first team defense, right? But instead of putting Tart in there, you put Harris. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or, well, Reed's out this year. Reed towards. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then here's another thing too. So now on your second team defense, you have Tart, who's going to elevate the play of the other players around him who don't usually get it also. So you can mix and match. You know, you can take a starter, your team one guys from each level, one defensive lineman, one pass rusher, one linebacker, one safety, and a corner. You take those five guys and put them with your team two, and then replace them with some team two guys on team one. You get what I'm saying? And you can kind of evaluate them a little bit better. I kind of like that idea. I really, really do. And I'll be honest with you, I think the Niners are more likely to do that. If you had to make a bet on it, how do you – I got
the finger. Just real quick. The Niners, most teams have 3 practice fields in their facility if they don't have a stadium. The Niners have 2 practice fields, and then they have the stadium. So maybe it's going to be split up upon 3 fields, not 2. But even then, how would you do that breakdown? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of confusing.
I think with the depth on this team, I think they're going to try to keep all 90 guys and truly evaluate. And you're likely to see guys like Jet McKinnon with the second team or third team. You know,
here's a shot of the.
Hold on, let me blow you up. Hold up, let me blow you up here. There you go.
Here's a shot of the practice facility. There's the team headquarters right there. You see the logo on the building. You got the first field and then the farther field. The Niners have 2 facilities, so they'll split them on that one field, then the back field, and then the stadium between 3 groups. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
that's what I guess the 10 people are. The 10 different between 80 and 90.
Now, usually that's like the kickers and stuff. They're over there doing their thing on the third field.
Correct.
Right? That's what kickers usually are. But I guess they can make it a practice. This is the Tony Show, guys.
No, put yourself
we're going to leave it on Tony.
Come on, I'm not doing this Tony Show.
It's all good. If you had to take a guess at how the Niners are going to choose to do it, 80 or 90 using the extra field, what would your guess be?
I really don't know, Mike, because like I said, how can you split the groups and have position coaches on one field and then you have another, like, you know what I don't know how they would do it. I know that they're recording every practice. Everything that's done on those fields is video recorded. So maybe like they go back at the end of the day and then they go and review the film on all the fields at once. But I just don't know how you would do it and really watch these players.
Well, these coaches all work together in rooms. And so what they were going to end up being, what's going to happen is these guys all get together and they say, this is the game plan or the script for this practice. So you can practice it all. You don't have to have Kyle Shanahan watching all 3 fields. You can have Shanahan on one field, the quarterback's coach on another field, and the running backs coach, the running game coordinator. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can split it up that way and still be executing the way practice would go. So I don't think that would even be a problem. So if you got a little bit more light, it's getting a little dark over here on me. Hold on, Arik Crocker, 90. That's his opinion there. They'll figure out a way because 49ers practice facility is right next to this. Yeah. Eric's got a point, and it's more beneficial. Hey, God said that there be light. So, but yeah, man. So that's Eric's opinion. I like that, man. Oh wait, it says put user in timeout. I just want to take his comment off. It won't. Oh shit! I think plug something.
You're breaking up, Mike.
All right, there we go. Am I back? You got me?
Yeah.
I can't take his comment off. Is his comment still on the screen?
No, Callie Young is on.
Tony, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh shit!
You're glitchy, Mike.
No. I got you. But Eric's comment still on the screen, right?
No, Callie Young is on.
I'm glitching. All right. Let me move. Okay, there we go. Let me move my phone a little bit closer towards the where the router is. Let me slide it over. Inches. Apparently they do matter, ladies. All right. So
we're getting kicked right off of YouTube. Here we go. Yo, are we still live?
Sorry, no, the kids won't understand that joke. That's okay. They're still child friendly. They don't know what I'm talking about. All right. So was that it for the Twitter stuff? Was that it for the Twitter stuff? Look at all the comments. Look at it. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It is
okay.
now.
So let's talk about this interview and then we can wrap this thing up. We don't need to do this a big long show. There's boxing on tonight, guys. Speaking of boxing, Tony, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. are going to do an exhibition bout. Bro, are you excited about that? Because I see people say, "Oh, I don't want to see these old geezers fighting each other, man." What do you think?
I love Mike. Mike Tyson's a man. I was 54 years old. I still won't get in a ring with his ass. Screw that.
But this is Roy Jones. Now, the difference is going to be weight. That's how you know it's an exhibition. Yeah. I think the heaviest I ever saw Roy Jones professionally fight at was light heavyweight. Mike Tyson's a true heavyweight. He's a short guy with a lot of girth. So, well, no, here we go again. Inches girth. Oh, this show is going downhill fast. All right, let's get back to sports. Let's get back to sports. I'm sorry. All right, so Kyle Shanahan did an interview with his best friend, Chris Sims.
Great one. If no one has listened to it, it's great. Please listen to it.
Yeah, it was really, really good. So I don't know where you want to start. You know what? Let's do this. We're not going to recap the entire thing. What were your biggest takeaways of it? Because I guarantee you, my biggest takeaway has nothing to do with what you're going to say. Because I look for the small, minuscule things that mean a lot to me. And he dropped the gem in there that was pretty good. But before you give your answer, let's read this comment from Sean. Thanks for the contribution. Oh, sorry. Speaking of contributions, in the bio of today's episode, guys, Arik Armstead's website. Where is that at? Before I put Sean's thing up here. Arik Armstead website, guys. We are trying to promote players' charities, and this is one of them. We want you guys to check it out. Be a part if you can. And I told you guys that at the end of the week, I was going to announce something concerning this. So I can go ahead and announce it now. We've been keeping a tally of the contributions that have been made towards the show throughout the week while we've been doing this. And what Nothing But Niners is going to do is we are going to match the contributions and donate that to the Arik Armstead Foundation. And so every time we do a show and it's that week of a player's charity, we're going to continue to do that. So that's just our way of giving back a little. So we thank you guys for making us better. They contribute to us. We're going to contribute it to those guys. So Sean, thanks for spending my money. No, I'm kidding. Sean with the $10 contribution, he says, how do you guys think this would affect adding players cut by other teams, keeping 80 opposed to 90? Mike, Tony, thanks for the show. I know my comments are lame. I do it on purpose, like the tweets. No, bro, I love them all. Like I said, you do it, and I get a true joy out of it because I know that there's no malice in there. Like, they're like dad jokes. They're constantly like dad jokes, and I really, really appreciate them. I'm going to take it down. I like to leave $10 contributions up longer, but I can only see half of Tony's face. That drives me crazy. So I'm going to take it down there. Oh, if he sits like that, then we can leave it. And this is I had Tony taking shots. Y'all think I'm on my game tonight. I see Tony. I know what you're doing, bro. I know what you're doing. It's a really good question, right? How does it work if you decide that you're only going to go with 80 men? So when you can't change your mind and go back to 90? Is it something that they can go back and forth between? Do they have to sign 10 players at one time?
It seems like you possibly could. I don't know 100%. It wasn't clarified in the tweets. It was just basic information. But I will say this, it is a team option. It's up to the team whether they want to do 80 or 90. It's not league mandated. So some teams might do 80, some teams might do 90. So it can go back and forth.
I'm sorry, my wife was talking shit, so I missed your comment, Tony. I apologize, man. But yeah, I do think that they might be able to go back and forth. I really do. I think, though, if they do go back and forth, it's like all at one time. I don't think that there's going to be an 85-man roster because that's bending unless you are using all three fields still and you just under the 90. But I don't think they're going to let them alternate like halfway in between and shit like that. It's I don't know. It's going to be weird. Is that an unfair advantage?
Well, because now here's the thing. Let's say you start with 80 and then all of a sudden you get a couple guys pop positive. You got to replace those guys, right? So does that then now are you building – because technically they're still on your roster. So if two guys pop positive, you're going to have 82 guys. You know what I'm saying? To replace those two. So, I mean, I don't know. It's not in black and white on here. It's just basic information. They're just telling you the basics of it. I would love to see like a full detailed report, but I don't know if we're going to get that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sure that the teams know. It's going to be really, really interesting, man. But what's exciting, though, it looks like football at the moment is going to be on. It's a really, really good sign. Now, we did get we got some other news. We're gonna take it back to this Kyle Shanahan thing, and then what we're gonna end on is the salary cap situation, because that news was the last thing that I saw emerge from everything. So we'll talk about the salary cap situation really quick, but at the end of this all. So let's go to the Kyle Shanahan thing. What were your biggest takeaways here, other than he hates Mike Florio?
That was I was gonna say how he flat out admitted knowing that he hears him ripping on, and he just roasted his ass. He just said, "Oh yeah, if I say this, Mike Florio is gonna say that." Blah, blah, blah. That was the best part of that interview, in my opinion. Now let's talk about,
bro. I didn't mean to take that from. I did not think that's where you were gonna go with it.
No,
I'm so sorry.
I listened to it and I heard a lot of different things, but when I heard him really get into that, I was like, wow. But yeah. Peachy, that's another good post. Thank you for the donation, by the way, but that's another good point. PG says, Unbuttoned Pod with Kyle was really good. Love hearing about him sitting in the room with all those great coaches like Tomlin. Well, there was a lot more coaches than just Tomlin in that room, but we'll get into that. But basically, his philosophy, the guy's a genius. If you sit there and listen to him, he knew what the problem was. He knew where the defense was coming into this season, and he knew where the offense was. And the defense was way ahead than the offense. He even said it. He goes, yeah, everyone's making a big deal about that game, that inter-squad scrimmage where he threw 5 picks. Well, I don't even think it was an inter-squad scrimmage. I think it was a regular scrimmage, like, within the 49ers, not another team. So it wasn't inter-squad. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was the one with the Broncos. That was the joint practice.
Was it the joint? I thought it was just with the team.
That was the same week that Hurd started the fight. That was against the Broncos.
Okay.
That's how it got out so much, because the Broncos people were bragging that they picked off Jimmy Garoppolo 5 times in a row. So
basically, Kyle was saying that he knew it was going to take a while for Jimmy to get up to par. They really didn't know what they have in a running game. McKinnon's knee didn't, take after the surgery, had to wind up getting another surgery. So there's a lot of question going into the season as far as the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball, he flat out said, our defensive line is dominant. Look what happened. So with that being said, I was pretty sure that happened between us, because I remember Kyle saying, facing our defensive line, it could cause people to throw 5 interceptions in a game. So, but thanks, Croc.
I stand corrected. Mike's not ashamed to admit when he was wrong. My bad.
Eat crow. No, I'm joking. So another thing was, like what Peachy said, when Kyle went to Tampa Bay, he learned a lot under Gruden. Like, Gruden taught him the ropes. He had a chart every play that they did. He learned a lot. And his father told him, if you want to be a great play caller, you have to learn defense. So what did he do? Like Peachy said, he sat in the defensive room, which, by the way, had Raheem Morris, Tony Dungy, I think, was there. Or no, Tony Dungy wasn't there. Raheem Morris, Mike Tomlin. They had Rod Marinelli. They had Joe Woods, who, coincidence, was like our defensive passing game coordinator last year. All these big name and well-known, well-known coaches in one room. And he just soaked it up and he just listened to it. And, then he said how he went on to the Texans with Gary Kubiak. And that's where he really learned the Mike Shanahan offense. And he was like, what are we doing? We're so far behind, we got to do more. And between him and Kubiak, he learned the ropes of the Shanahan office. So now when Kyle went out on his own and became a true play caller, he had what he learned from Gruden and his father and Kubiak. So, and you keep listening, and the number one thing, he just kept crediting Jed York, John Lynch, even though there's some question going on with John Lynch, but he questions how everyone's on the same page, and there's no bickering, there's no one taking the credit for this. They do it as a team. Those were the main points that I got from it. And then he loosened up towards the end about the hat, how he's not going to wear the hat. The wife made him wear the hat and all that. But listen, all bullshit aside, all you guys in the chat, and if you just watch this at a later date, you guys really need to check that podcast out, because it's an hour, I think 17 minutes, and it is phenomenal. And I think the actual 13 minutes and 50 seconds was when he started talking about how he learned about defenses and sat in that room. He really breaks it down in straight, full detail.
It is the Chris Sims Unbuttoned podcast. You guys didn't catch that earlier. It wasn't an hour. Oh, you know what? I listen to podcasts on 1.7 times the speed. So my podcast is only 42 minutes or something like that. So yeah, I think Tony is right though. So yeah, it's probably well over an hour. It was really, really good. And I'm not going to tell everybody to speed it up, but Kyle Shanahan speaks kind of slow. There's a lot of ums when Kyle Shanahan speaks. Listening to it sped up really made me like listening to Kyle Shanahan. Tony, you touched on a lot of really, really good things. I'm glad he said that he doesn't like the hat. I hated that hat. I didn't want to say it during the season because everyone was so excited about it. I have always hated that hat, bro. But I had already heard Shanahan say that his dad told him, study defenses if you want to be an offensive play caller and all that. I knew all that already. Here's what my biggest takeaway was, and this made me this. Oh man, I don't know how to explain it. He said something during that about I believe the question from Sims was about how many plays do you go into a game with, right? And he says, well, I go in with 30 plays, but from a bunch of different formations.
Correct.
And then he said something about how Gruden would have 196 plays in his game plan, and you just got to be ready to call whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And then he said that his dad would have a very simple offensive game plan, and he landed somewhere in the middle, which, by the way, I think is awesome. Yes. Which tells you he learns from everybody, and he develops his own way, and he landed in the middle. That's one thing I really like. But in the midst of all of that conversation, he said something that was really, really telling. He said that there are games where you see your players aren't able to execute what you're calling. Mm-hmm. He says, that's on me because I'm supposed to put them in a position to succeed.
Correct.
Right? When he said that, immediately I thought about 3 different games. 2 of them we won, but 3 different games where he went to the podium in the post-game thing and took the blame for the game. He said, that was on me. I'm supposed to put these guys in better positions to win, and I didn't do it.
Falcons.
He said that. The Falcons was one of them. The Falcons game was the one loss that he said that after. And you know what that told me, though? That was the game that he was the most pissed off at his players' performances. Because when they don't perform, he decided to put the blame on him. I loved hearing him say that. So now when I hear him say those things, I'm gonna go back and watch every post-game presser again and see how many times he mentioned I should have put them in a better position, because that he's basically saying not all players can do this, not all players can do that. You want them to do this, and those are the special guys that can play at a high level and execute everything that you're asking them to do. But those are the great ones. Not everybody's a great. Some people are just good. That's very, very telling to me. That tells me how he analyzes this team. So that was my biggest takeaway. I know it doesn't seem like much to other people, but I really, really got a lot of that. I really got a lot from that. It was a phenomenal interview, guys. Again, the Unbuttoned podcast by Chris Sims. It's the latest episode. There was episode, I believe he said it was 167 or 168, and it took 167 episodes to get Kyle back. Something like that. So I'm not subscribed to it. I don't listen to it. But I did listen to that one. I did listen to his very first one, which had Kyle Shanahan on there. But it was cool to hear him cursing and letting loose with his friends and everything like that. That was good also. I like to hear the coach let go, relax. At one point he said something like, oh, can I say that on your – he said douchebag. That was the word he said.
Yeah, well, they're comfortable. They played together at Texas. They were roommates in Texas. So there's a relationship. It's not like a real like –
No, I know. But to do it officially on the record is what I'm saying. That – a podcast is on the record, and to hear our coach be on the record and letting loose with his tongue like that was really, really good to me. Like damn, that sounded like a bad sentence there. Also, all right, let me stop with that. That's enough of that too. Let me see here. Did I miss any comments that I wanted to do here? Okay, so the last thing that I want to discuss was. Damn, what did I say it was, Tony? I teased it. Salary cap. Yes. Okay, so I guess there were people who thought that the salary cap could go down this year. I was never one of those people because it's all based off of the revenue from last season.
Correct.
So the salary cap for this year has been set. I was never worried about the 198 changing. What they're saying is it is likely to go down next year. They don't know by how much yet, but at worst case scenario, it's going to be 175. Now, here's what I learned about that. A large portion of the salary cap comes from TV revenue, because that's the one thing we know that has not changed yet. Mm-hmm. It's the one thing we know for a fact has not changed yet. That tells me that they already have a bunch of commercials. They have a bunch of advertisers. They have a bunch of sponsors that have already paid their dues for this upcoming season.
And don't forget the new thing with the NFL approved, how they're going to the soccer style of advertisement, where they're going to allocate the first 8 to 10 rows of the lower bowl of the field to all advertising wrapping around the whole stadium. So you'll see like Pepsi, Apple, AT&T, whatever the hell it is. But there's going to be advertisement going around the whole lower bowl of the field approximately from field level to 10 rows back, I think they said. And it was approved league-wide by the NFL, so all the teams are going to be doing it. Now, as of right now, I don't think fans are allowed to go to, but if that's the case, your TV revenue is going to go, so more people are going to watch it.
Yeah, and so they're trying to find ways to compensate for the live game experience and things like that, and the revenue that would be generated from ticket sales and things like that. They're going to try to find it, but it sounds like they already know that they can't, and they're expecting the salary cap to go down. What I also like is the money that's going to be lost from this year. They're not making them, because if they imagine this, right? They said it was 175 at worst. That's over 4 years. That's not quite 25 because we're not at 200. It's $23 million less.
And
but they're saying
2024
over 4 years, which means that it tells me that they've lost $100 million worth of revenue per team. That's a lot of money, because if they're saying it at worst is 175, right? You're going down from 198 to 175, and that's over 4 years. That's not at one time.
I don't even think it's going to go that low, Mike. I think that's the cap is how.
Well, they said that's the worst case.
Yeah.
They said on there it's the worst case scenario. Yeah.
I honestly don't. I can't see them dropping that low. I really can't. Just alone from the TV deal, the advertisements, like you said, commercials, all that crap, and then God willing, it goes through a full season. You have playoffs. You have Sunday night, Monday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football. You're going to have Saturday football, and then you have the Super Bowl. They're going to make a ton. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do the Super Bowl with no fans, but
it'll be interesting, man. I'm wondering if they're going to allow teams to pump in crowd noise to simulate some kind of field advantage, but have a controlled decibel. Huh?
They're doing it with baseball.
No, I know that. I know they're doing it with baseball. I'm wondering if they're going to do it in football, because you got to remember, what was it, 6-7 years ago, Arthur Blank and the Falcons were fined for pumping in crowd noise. Now imagine being allowed to do it now and then being fined for doing it before, and how that could play a difference. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if they allow them to do it. Like I said, just control the decibels of it, how much comes in. You can't just crank your systems up full blast when the opposing team is on offense. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if they're going to control it that way. But we'll see. It's going to be very interesting. But here's the good news, guys. Like I said, just to sum up everything, Kyle Shanahan is a G. He hates Mike Florio. He hates that hat. He doesn't hate the hat, but he's tired of it. And
he shaved his beard, by the way.
Oh, okay. He shaved his beard. He said he saw too many grays in the beard, right?
I don't remember what he said, but I remember him saying it. He said he's ready for a new season.
He said that he aged a lot. He turned 40. He said he aged a lot. His body aches differently in a slower recovery time. And he said that he saw a lot of grays in the beard. The rosters can stay at 90 if the teams want to. It could go as low as 80. Players can opt out for $150,000. If you have a medical condition, it'll be up to $350,000. So that's the synopsis of everything that in this show. Let's see here. They pump in crowd noise now. The 49ers do it. Just turns off when the play clock hits 20 seconds. Right. I mean, you hear the defense chants and all that stuff, but I don't know if I ever hear like the loud just cheering over in the overhead. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how that works, but yeah, so that's it. That was from Arik Crocker. But yeah, so that's really all I got, Tony, man. Let's get some final thoughts and let's get up out of here, man. Nice short, sweet show. I'm saying short, here we are at 50 minutes already almost, but it was a good show, man. But what is your final thoughts from you?
One thing non-49er related, actually it's an ex-49er. Alex Smith for the team of Washington, the Washington team, has been cleared to fully participate in football activities today. That man, if he doesn't win comeback player of the year, I don't know who should, because that man's a warrior.
He's still on their roster, right?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. I love Alex Smith. I just don't want to see him get hurt again, bro.
I have no problem keeping him as a backup. I really don't.
I would keep him as a backup. I don't want to see him get hurt again, man. But Alex Smith just walking on a football field again when he was supposed to lose that leg. He was supposed to lose that leg. And then to find out how and what went down behind benching the running back because of an affair. and then he could have lost his leg over that. Yep. Do you understand the implications? This story came out about them changing their name, and they put that in the headlines to get over that story and all those allegations that are out there against this team. I haven't forgotten. And I don't want you people out there to forget either that the Redskins the Washington organization is a scumbag organization. I mean, we knew that they were run a little funky already, but if anything in that report is true, because it's all alleged, right? It's all allegations. But if anything in that report is true, they are a trash organization. And they come out with all this name changing stuff and put it in the front headlines to try to sweep that story under the rug. That was horrible. Those allegations were horrible.
Same thing with Trent Williams.
Yeah, well, Trent was, man, look. All right, Tony, so I got to ask you this question because it's mandatory at this point. And do you think George Kittle gets signed this weekend? Because everyone's saying, oh, it's coming today. Every day someone says it's coming today. Every day it's coming today. Every day it's coming today. What do you think? Do you think he gets signed this weekend? Yes or no?
Weekend, I'm not sure this weekend, but I think it's done within a week's time.
So here's the thing. I'm going to ask you it this way because we got to remember that Kyle Shanahan had his extension back in February. Mm-hmm. February, early March. They didn't announce it until 2-3 months later. Do you think the extension's already done?
It possibly could be. I mean, we don't know.
No. I'm not gonna let you get away with it. It possibly could. Of course, it possibly could be. I could possibly be a millionaire and not tell you guys. Also, doesn't mean that do you think it's already done?
My gut feeling, yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna move the pendulum. Do you think John Lynch's new position and or extension are already done and they just haven't announced it?
You broke up. What'd you say?
Do you think John Lynch's new position or promotion or extension are already done and they just haven't announced it yet?
I want to say yes, but I don't think it is.
Fair enough. That one I will accept because it's just amazing to me that people think that John Lynch is on his way out when this is the best team in football in 3 years. 3 years. They completely gutted that roster and boom, we're in the Super Bowl. Only 1 year with the quarterback of their choosing. Think about that. Mm-hmm. 1 year with the quarterback of their choosing to get to the Super Bowl, and now we want to get rid of John Lynch. I just think it's a little asinine. I understand it. And there were some things that kind of stood out to me, but we'll discuss that later on another show. But that Raheem Mostert situation made my antenna go up. I'm Mr. Conspiracy Theory, and I noticed that headline said that he met with a higher up in the 49ers organization. They did not say GM. I'm wondering if he did meet with John Lynch, but he's not officially the GM because maybe he got promoted already. You get what I'm saying? Or the other thing is he didn't even meet with John Lynch because maybe John Lynch is on his way out. But either way, my antenna went up when I went back and read that. That's the one thing that has me thinking something is up with John Lynch. Positive or negative, I don't know yet. But I am digging, guys. I am on it. I am looking through every little clue, every nook and cranny. I am on it. So
one flip side,
you guys are going to hear it here first.
One flip side to your story real quick is all the big name GMs are due for their contracts are up within the next 1 to 2 years, like the Loomis and the Saints, Schneider in Seattle. It could be possible that they're waiting to see what those deals go through to give him an increase. I don't know. But because you've got to remember something. He was making a lot of money doing Fox Sunday Football. So maybe the team matched what he was making, and it's probably a decent amount of change. So, everything's so tight-lipped now. We don't know what the hell's going on, but we just got to wait and see. I hope everything gets settled, and they keep the nucleus of this team going forward together in the front office, at least, and we'll see.
We will see. My guy Tony, get that 5 side. What's up, man? That's my guy right there, man. That's my guy. All right, so we'll see, guys. We're gonna wrap up here, man. Any other final thoughts before we get out of here? I'm ready to go watch some boxing.
I know Ashford Turbo just posted Jamal Adams will be a Niner during training camp. I don't know, man.
No, listen. With the way that this salary cap is about to take a hit,
it made it really hard.
I don't know if they're gonna do that, man. I don't know if the Niners make any big moves. Honestly, if the Kittle deal isn't done, I would just flat out hold off on it. If it's not already done, and I'm the 49ers, I hold off to see just how much damage is done. There is no rush to sign Kittle right now. And if you pull him in and his agent in and you explain to them, look, we could be losing $23 million of salary cap, and you're not willing to be understanding for that, then, hey, maybe, I'm not going to say he's not the guy you want in the building, but if it's not already done, you got to be understanding. Okay? We can what's the word? Franchise them and all that stuff if we have to, but you got to be understanding. This is a team, and we're trying to keep the team together. And so I'm really interested to see how it all breaks down and how it all plays out. But hopefully, knock on some wood over here. Oh, wait, I got some. Knock on wood, everything works out in favor of everybody. Was that your final thought?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. My final thought is just for everybody out there to stay safe, stay prayed up, and stay positive, people. Do something good for somebody, help somebody out. Anybody, someone on the street. How many times do you drive past the panhandlers? Give them $1 today, guys. Give them $1. Okay. We want to thank you all for your contributions. We want to thank you all for watching and taking time out to be with us tonight. And one more time for the charity that we're promoting this week. It is www.arikarmstead91.com. And that is Arik with an A-R-I-K. I don't know why they spelled it that way, but A-R-I-K, Armstead91.com. Check out the website. Go over there. Make a difference, especially if you are in the Sacramento community. That's going to do it for us here at Nothing But Niners. Thank you, guys. We will see you guys soon. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
Keep those alerts set.